I'm going to tell you how by the age of 17, I figured out exactly what I wanted out of life by the age of 25 and the steps that I took to get my journey started. Hey everyone, my name is Leo. I'm the founder and CEO of LGT Digital, which is a digital marketing agency based out of Melbourne. And I'm also the author of the book, The First Step, which is a book about how to take your first step into business or into any career path that you want to take. I feel like a lot of people have action anxiety. They don't know what their first steps should be, when to take their first step, or they're just too scared to take their first step. And so I wrote a book all about that. And that's actually going to be on topic. It's what I'm going to talk about today. What I'm really going to talk about today is how at the age of 17, I pretty much came up with a plan for my life, some significant things that helped me along the way, how I took my first steps, and that's pretty much it. I just want to try and pass on as much knowledge to you, particularly if you're a little lost right now and you're trying to find some direction. This video is mainly going to be targeted to that person who knows that they want to achieve success, you want more out of life, but you just don't really know where to start. You don't even know what your definition of success is. I was like that when I was younger, and what pretty much helped me get there was I reversed engineered it. I said to myself, what kind of life do I imagine living if I could achieve any success? Like, if I could make as much money as I wanted and I could do it in any way that I wanted, how would I picture my life? How would I picture my life for my family? And so that's where I started, and that's where I want you to actually start. It's where I want to encourage you to start. I want to encourage you to actually grab a notebook and a pen. This was massive to me. Get a notebook and a pen and start to write out your feelings, start to write out your thoughts, start to write out your dreams and aspirations. Talk about what you'd love your life to actually look like to the nearest and finest detail. And I feel like the better you can picture it, the better you can actually start to reverse engineer it and figure out what it is that you need to do. So for me, I said to myself, well, I know that I want to be able to travel at any time to anywhere I want to go. I want to be able to send my family overseas. I want to retire my parents. I want to buy them a home. I want to be financially free. I want to have nice cars. I want to buy my family nice cars. I want to be able to give my future children everything they ever wanted. I got into detail. I figured out what kind of house I'd love to live in by looking at the internet at images of houses. I figured out what my dream car was. At the time, it was two main cars. It was a BMW M4 and it was an Audi R8, which was the supercar that I wanted to get later down the track. But I got into a lot of detail, like so much detail with what it is that I wanted to do, and even spoke with my parents and I said, hey, I know I'm only 17, I'm just finishing high school, but if I could, achieve this level of success in a short period of time, what would you love to do with your life? And my mom would tell me what she would do, my dad would tell me what he would do, and this is how I slowly started to come up with what I wanted that end dream life to look like. Once I figured that out, I began to reverse engineer it. I said to myself, well, by what age do I want to achieve this? And do I want to achieve it by 30, by 40, by 50? For me, I knew that because of our financial situation, finances were a big pain point at home, and a lot of the arguments that would happen at home would be about money. A lot of our source of pain at home would be as a result of the lack of finances, and so it was something I really wanted to solve quickly, and I wanted to turn things around in a short period of time. And because of that, I decided, you know what, I want to try and achieve this by 25. And I actually set the countdown goal, which if you're an OG listener, if you've been following me for a long time, you would actually know what that is. I essentially set a countdown to 25 years old, and I've been counting down almost every single day until then. At this point, I think I'm at day 282, and I count down to my 25th birthday, by which point I'm supposed to deliver on the promises that I made to my family. And good news is I'm definitely well on track, and it's been a crazy journey. We'll save that for another video. Let's go back to those first steps which I talked to you guys about. So I essentially decided what I wanted to achieve by 25, and then I asked myself, how can I do this? How can I achieve this level of success? Well, I plan on going to uni next year. If I study at university for 4 or 5 years and then I get a job afterwards, is that job and that income going to allow me to achieve this dream life by the age of 25? And the answer was most definitely no. I'd be 18 at university, I'd finish by 22. I would, even as an engineer, I was studying civil engineering. Even as an engineer, my salary would be between $60,000 to $100,000 at most when you're first starting out, or after a few years at least. So by the age of 25, I would be making maximum $80,000 to $100,000 a year, and I knew that I needed to make a lot more than that in order to achieve that countdown goal. And so that right there started to help me make my decisions. And this is why it's very important for you to actually figure out what your dream life looks like and then reverse engineer it from there, because it makes it very easy for you to make decisions in the present. So I started to look for other ways that I could generate income. And that's why by 18, I had already started my first couple of businesses. And I pretty much established at an early age that, look, if I want to be able to achieve this dream life, I'm going to have to make money on my own, because I know no one's going to pay me $1 million salary by the age of 25. I'm going to have to go and find a way to add enough value into the world where I start a business that gives me that instead. And so I started to really think about becoming an entrepreneur and learning about business, and I would read books. I read Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon. I studied Tony Robbins religiously. I'd watch his seminars. I studied the late great Jim Rohn, who essentially gave me my initial foundations on how I should think, and I would just consume as much knowledge as I can, and I worked on my personal development, and all at the same time trying to think of business ideas and starting business ideas. I started an eBay store and it failed. I started in buying and selling iPhones and that failed. I would just try so many things, and the reason I got into business so soon and I didn't really hesitate on taking action is because I read a quote that said, in order for you to be in business, in order for you to get good at business, you have to be in business, period. And so I'm like, okay, I don't really care if this business opportunity makes me money or if I lose money. I just want to be in business so I can actually get good at it. It's one of those things where you can only get good at it if you're in the mix, and not just thinking about it and planning for it. Long story short, by 19, I ended up starting a private tutoring agency. And when I started that private tutoring agency, that helped me leave university. And then years and years went by, and it's been a crazy 4 or 5 years of business. And then when the digital agency came, I was able to really start my really first proper successful business, which has pushed me beyond that level of average income earning and moved me closer to that goal. And now I'm still working relentlessly to make this countdown goal happen. So taking it back a little bit, what actually allowed me to get on track and to know exactly what I had to do in order to achieve my goal? I figured out what that goal was, and then I reverse engineered it. So for you, I want you to figure out what that end goal looks like to you, and then think about some people who actually live that dream life. Think about some people who you know that live that dream life. Is it Gary Vee? Is it Grant Cardone? Is it Tony Robbins? Is it your local doctor? Is it your uncle? Is it your friend? Who is that lives that dream life? And what do they do? What is it that they do? How did they get to where they got to? Did they follow a passion? Did they start a business? Did they follow their dreams as a creator, as an artist, as a performer? What is it that they did? And then ask yourself, is that something you're actually interested in? And that starts to give you ideas. The actual business you get involved in, you will figure out, as long as you do something you're passionate about, you'll be fine. And you're going to understand more and more what your passion is by looking inwards, by actually becoming more and more self-aware through self-education, through improving your mindset, through studying these greats. You will ask yourself questions which will help you figure out what your passions are, and that'll push you closer towards what business you should eventually get into. So in a nutshell, I hope you're going to walk away with this video with a few points. Number one, really start to think about what your dream life would look like. What does that look like? What kind of car do you want to drive? What does that mean for your family? How much money do you want to make? What does your house look like? Where do you want to live? Do you ever want to live in one place? Do you want to be traveling the world? What does that dream life look like? Then ask yourself, by what age do I want to achieve this? Set a timeline for yourself so that you can hold yourself accountable. I could have said I want to achieve it by 30. I said by 25, and because of that, I put in a whole lot of hard work because I knew that I was on the clock. And so I didn't waste time. Set a timeline for it. Don't be scared to do so. And then reverse engineer. What would you need to do in order for you to make this a possibility? If you go to uni and you earn a salary, but by the age of 25, you want to make $1 million a year or $2 million a year, that's unrealistic. And so you now know that you need to make the decision to leave university and embark on your business journey, or stay at uni and start your own business. And once it makes money, then you can leave university. But it will give you an idea of what kind of decisions you need to make. And then just get started. Understand that in order for you to be good at business, you need to be in business. So don't get too stressed about what kind of business I want to start, what idea I want to begin. Just focus about moving forward. Focus about taking that first step and self-educate. Notebook and a pen. Become self-aware, self-educate, listen to people like Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, read books, consume knowledge, increase your own personal value, increase your own personal development, and you will eventually get to where it is that you want to get to, because you're going to know where that end goal is. You know what I'm saying? It's like you establish that clarity, you know exactly what it is that you want to do, then you figure out what kind of path you need to go on to make that end destination a possibility. Hope you guys have enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. If you haven't already, head to my Instagram and hit that follow button. I post content almost every single day, particularly in my stories. And if you wanted to learn more about my journey, more about my business, I'll leave all that information in the bio below. Otherwise, if you've got any questions, drop a comment and I'll do my best to respond. Take care.